Hi, my name's Steven from K-Scale Models, and today I'm doing a video about my experience of selling 3D printed Gunpla files. So, let's just go through this. The first place I've got on my list is Cults 3D. So, Cults, if you're unaware, they're Thingiverse-like, but they also allow you to sell paid models. So, if you're selling, designer gets 8% of any sale, 50% goes to Cults, and 5% to banking fees. All fairly straightforward. Next one is New Type. Now, New Type is primarily their business is selling you the actual Gunpla models. So, yeah, this is like one of the big sites in the US for sale of model kits. Yes, they do have a 3D printable section. If you've got any questions regarding 3D printing, yeah, that's the contact you go email and they'll sort you out. This includes if you want to upload anything, they'll go through it there. Um, their fees, I'm assuming I'm okay to talk about them, is the same as Cults. 80% to the creator, 20% for banking and New Type. CG Trader, I've explained this one before. Primarily, this is regarding 3D assets, not 3D printable models, but they do have 3D printable models on the site, and you can monetize them. Their rates are dependent on your sales and basically how well you're doing on the site. So, if you've got less than 100 points, you are on 70%. Over 40,000 points, you're on 80% commission for your side of things. So, yeah, that is their site. My Manufactory is go to the right page. Yeah, they've got a flat monthly fee of $25 and you'll receive 92% of all sales. Etsy here is it's like eBay, but it's set up less for auctions and more for selling customizable items. It does have the facility to upload digital assets. There is limitations regarding file size. So yeah, their fees. There's two fees you need to be aware of: listing fees and transactions. So listing fees is a flat rate of 2 cents. Transaction fees is 6.5%. So yeah. Next one is Gumroad. So I'm just going to use this page as an example, but you can see here this is more like what you'd be seeing if you're searching for stuff. Now, Gumroad is primarily about if you've got a digital asset and you're wanting to sell it and you don't have the facilities yourself, you put it on Gumroad and you sell it through there. Now, they've got different fee structures depending on your sales, along with a flat rate of 3 cents plus then any transaction fees that you incur from like PayPal, and this is their like fees for PayPal sort of thing. So yeah, that's their site. Another alternative is your own site. So I'm using Hanko here as an example. I should probably use myself, but I'll explain more about why I don't in a moment. So yeah, they are selling through their site. I can't speak about transaction fees. The reason is that I haven't set my website up for this. That's why I'm not showing it off. So I can't say what the transaction fees are for having a site for selling off models. There is a variety out there. I use Wix for my site, but there is Squarespace. There's a whole host of other sites out there that will let you set up your own webpage. So go look at them. Go look at their fees. I'm not in a position to really talk about that. That's a whole different video. The final one I'm going to go over is Patreon. So Patreon is basically there for monthly backers. So you say, I'm going to make such and such every month or whatever time period, and people pay you based on that. Now, there's 3 tiers at the moment for Patreon: Lite, Pro, and Premium. So Lite is basically just a basic page where you can do all your stuff. Pro gives you membership tiers, analytics, special offers, and promo tools, and a bunch of other things. Um, Premium it gives you a couple other benefits: a direct partner manager, merchandise, so you can put your logo on a coaster and send it to your backers, and team accounts. So if you've got more than one person that is in your who's working on your Patreon, they will also have access. Now they've got a couple of different bits as well as the standard fees. They've also got a payment fee. So 3.4% of your payment plus 0.35. This is if it's standard. If successful payments over £3, so you have to be more than £3. Micropayments. So I believe this is if you're getting paid per post, and that is 5% transaction fees plus 0.15 for the 15p per sale sort of thing. So that's all the different sites. So let's go back and I'll just discuss what my thoughts on them. So cults here, I think this is a good place to start if you're a new person to 3D printing. It will get some organic traffic, so that's traffic through the actual site. You can see here that they do list things at the front of their page, although I've never seen any Gunpla related ones here. Actually, hold on. I stand corrected. This isn't Gunpla per se, but we've got Robotech, so that's quite interesting. So anyway, yeah, this is it's fairly straightforward. If you're wanting to create an account, it's easy to set up. If you're wanting to upload a file, you just basically click upload, hit upload file, put all in the details and send. And that's you. So yeah, if you're starting, here's where you start. New type is if you're established, really, I think. If you've got a bit of a following, you have company logo, you're not just doing it off your own back. It's not like you're using your own name for your cult's file or your cult's profile sort of thing. So yeah, they are same rates as cults, and there's a couple of things I like about new types, but there's also a couple of disadvantages. So let's go through this. I'm going to first off start with a disadvantage. So when you're uploading a file, what you do at the moment, they're looking to change this, so bear that in mind. If this all changes, and just take that into account. You email them and say, hey, I want to set up an account. Fairly straightforward. They just go through some details with you for your name and stuff. It's a company. It's not as if they're going to be sharing it with anyone. It's not Facebook. But yeah, that's more just for tax purposes, I believe, or just their accounting. Then they give you a link to Google Drive. I'm not going to show you the Google Drive because I don't want someone to be able to get access to my Google Drive. That's not going to end well. But yeah, you go on there and you upload your file, you give a bit of background, you do all the sort of things for the promotion, you upload pictures, etc. And then you email them and say, all done, and they go and upload it. This takes a couple of days for them to go from file on their system to actual file on the website. And remember, this is not a simple drag and drop. They're actually going in and editing the website. So I suspect they're doing that either when they're doing editing for other stuff or when they get an opportunity when they're not doing other maintenance on the site. So that is a bit of a negative because it does take time for that to all go through. So when I'm uploading files, I tend to upload it to new type first, give it a couple of days, and then I'll upload it to say cults or my other sites, just to mean that they all come out roughly about the same time. Now, what do I like about new type and why do I think it's actually going to be a very interesting thing going forward? Well, first off, when you're searching for Gunpla, let's put ourselves in the customers view. Where are you going? You're going to the sites that you know, or you're finding sites that deliver to your area. So stuff like you'll go to HobbyLink Japan for the old timers out there that used to have to import everything from Japan, or you go to New Type if you're in the US, or a whole bunch of other ones like say Gundam Canada or whatever. Just like your sort of shops in your local country. And then you go look and see what they've got in stock, see what you can get. So they're getting organic traffic. People are coming to their site anyway for their model kits. And then they're coming in here and going, oh, what can I get? So, yeah, driving organic traffic. They're also selling 3D printers. Now, I don't know how successful they've been on this. They've got the newer printers on here, so that's a good sign. But I don't know how well they're selling them. That's not something I'm really privy to. But the fact that they're selling the printers here basically means that people can go, okay, I'll buy the printer, and then what can I actually print with it? And they've got all the files here. So that's quite good. But more things that are quite good with New Type is they're part of the community in the US. They do a lot of things where they'll upload pictures of people's builds. So you can see here there's a whole bunch of builds. There's questions being asked about model kits. So if someone's got a question, they'll go, latest question, when is this in stock again? Okay, member of the public won't know that, but they might be able to say, hey, we believe we're going to be getting this in stock in the next month. But let's just go take an example of my store, because that's what I can really comment on. So we'll go to the Freedom here. So first off, well, actually, kind of jumping the gun, it's got a review. Scorn Man Dark has basically reviewed this. He said, hey, I built this. This is all the pictures, and I like it. 5 stars. Thank you very much. So, yeah, that is quite good because it tells the customer, hey, this thing works. Someone likes it, and this is actual pictures of their build. So this is what I can expect. So, yeah. But back in the questions one, because I clicked on the wrong one there. Someone had a question regarding the ghoul here. They asked, do the wings fold? And, well, thank you, Scorn. You came back and said, yes, they do fold, but you really need to glue them in place. And that's kind of the response. So, that I believe is quite good. It gives people the opportunity to respond to questions that others have about it. Or the site owners might be able to respond and say, yes, this, and this. And again, because people are uploading pictures, actual pictures of the model, it means that, you can get a good idea of what you're getting here. So that is quite good in my books. Now, let's move on to CG Trader. Now, I've said this before, CG Trader is not meant for 3D printing. It can handle it, but it's not meant for it. So this means you don't get a lot of organic traffic. I've seen people come here though from other YouTube videos of, hey, I'm just getting into 3D printing Gunpla, and this is this cool model I found. And it doesn't work, so I'm not too bothered about this 3D printing anymore. So people are definitely going here because they find cool looking models, even if they don't work. So yes, there can be some organic traffic, but my experience is there isn't a lot. 3D printing isn't really what this place is meant for. Actually, uploading files is straightforward on this site. You just basically go upload all your details. It gives you a score at the bottom here. Publishing score based on what you're actually providing. So if you provide them with pictures, if you provide them with a video, if you provide them with a lot of detail, tags, give them a lot of information and a lot of different file types, then they will give you a higher score. And this score isn't it's not really used in their algorithm from what I understand. It's more a case of if you do these things, you're more likely to get sales. That's the sort of thing I believe it is. Now, I've not done enough experimentation with this. I've got only a handful of files on the site. Now, my experience in sales-wise is I believe I've got 2 sales, but when I was doing checks on this, I appear to only have had 1 sale. So it might have been a case that the other sale had been in the previous calendar year, so I can't see that anymore. But you get the idea. It's not a high volume traffic, and you're not going to get a lot of organic traffic to this site. So be aware of that. Now I'm going to move on to My Mini Factory. So this $25 a month. I'm going to not swear here. But what? What? Like, compare this to all the other sites that I mentioned there. $25 a month is a huge amount, especially if you're starting out, if you're trying to get your name out there. So for that, I would be wanting a huge amount of advertising. I'd be wanting support. I'd be wanting them to contact me and say, hey, thank you for uploading things, and we're going to basically help you out. No. Um, it's I got no real contact, no advertising through the site when I tried this out for 3 months, and no sales. And it was just basically it is. I'm not too like confused with this. It's yeah. But anyway, a couple other bits to note. So when you upload a file on My Manufactory, it goes through a check process. So this is fine. This is actually a good thing in my book because I've found too many models over the years that are broken, don't work, and yeah, just generally have a lot of problems with. So the fact that they're coming along and checking them is great, isn't it? Except they don't do that for paid models. That's something they don't tell you. The paid models do not get any checks. Now, if you're selling a model, I have assumed you've checked the thing. You've made sure it works. You've quality assured it. You've printed it out yourself. But again, I've seen models that people have been selling and I don't know if they've actually printed them out. And in some cases I've asked and they've said, no, I'm waiting on a friend doing it. I was like, okay. So, yeah. The fact that they don't do it for paid ones, I can sort of see why, because it is a pain waiting for like a model to upload and them to check it over and make sure it works. But at the same time, that was that was not a pleasant surprise for me, for a user side. So yeah, another thing with the site, when I eventually went and cancelled it, I got messages along the lines of, your payment details are out of date. Please update them before the next payment date, or else your store will be cancelled. Please update them. This is your final warning. Okay, you've not updated your details. We've now cancelled your store. All your paid models will be stored on the site but not available. Yeah, this cancellation at any time thing. Questionable, because that's not the message that I would be sending out if I was if I saw someone cancelling the site. It would be a case of, I'm sorry to see you're leaving. We will keep your store live until such and such a date and then close it down. Your models will be stored on the site. That is a professional way of doing it. Not a case of, your payment details are outdated. Your payment Yeah, so I was not happy with that. That's not a professional way of doing things. Next thing I'd just like to point out, I got no sales on the site over 3 months. And if you remember my previous video from the 3D print, or where to find 3D printable Gunpla, you'll know that one of the big sellers on this site, or at least one of the big ones for Gunpla, was Lootbox Plus. So I'm just going to get the one file I can still see if there's on the site, because they seem to have had as much success as I had. I haven't contacted them. I do need to do so and just say, hey, how's things? But yeah, if you go into Lootbox Plus, or maybe it's Norman's actual name, site's running a lot slower than normal, but anyway, objects, 8 loading. Okay, so they have got some other models on the site, but these are the free models. All their paid ones are gone. So yeah, that kind of says it all, because Lootbox Plus is everywhere, and all these sites, they've got a lot of representation. So anyway, Etsy, as I said before, is really good if you're doing personalized things. If you're selling things that are non-personalized, so for instance, you're selling digital files, it's not as great for traffic. However, because it is also got quite a bit of reach, it goes into more than one country. It is a good one if you're wanting to reach further field markets. I know that a lot of my friends from Asia use this Etsy because this is available in their country. So yeah, it is quite good in that sense, but at the same time, it doesn't get a huge amount of organic traffic. I have had a few sales through it, but I've not had the number I've had for, say, these glue pot holders, which they're customizable, so that's great because that's kind of what it's set up for. Um, Uploading files is very straightforward. You hit like add listing, put all the details in, and you're good. Now, I said this is great for actually customer interaction. If you like, for instance, I sold one of these as a 3D file through the site, and I got an email a moment after the sale went through of the guy going, I've just noticed that this is split into all different models. Can you combine them? Because I'm wanting to do something weird with it. I was like, yeah, I'll do all that for you. I'll shrink it down because he was wanting it at 1/1700. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that for you. So, yeah, it is great for customer interaction. Like, customers on this site tend to interact with you more, but it's, I'd say, it's lacking push to the site, in my opinion. Although, in saying that, when I do search for my own stuff online, Etsy tends to be the place that pops up the most. Next one I'm going to go over to is Gumroad. So Gumroad, as I explained earlier, is more about if you want to upload digital assets and sell them. It is not really great for 3D printed models. You have to be able to drive you have to drive sales to the site. The site will not generate sales. So like this wasn't even there when I searched for Gundam. So their search engine is kind of lacking. And here's Pokemon. Like, what's Pokemon got to do with Gundam? So yeah, it's not really a great place in my opinion. The like numbers, the like the fees, they may be okay, but yeah, it's just the fact that you don't get a lot of traffic to the site. That's my main concern. The website, actually having your own website, as I say, I can't do a huge amount of discussion on this because whilst I've got a website, I don't use it for sales. I use it more as somewhere where people can go to find me and find my stuff and get my email address. I don't use it for sales, so I don't know how good this is. But with your own site, you have to drive all the traffic there. You can't just rely on someone Googling 3D printed Gunpla and then popping up on your site. It's not too great for that sort of thing. But it is great if you are making a business out of it and you want people to know that you're legitimate. And also being able to buy through the site also kind of enhances that legitimacy because, hey, I can actually buy things through here. My site, I need to do something with it and update it. I keep needing to do more of it because on mine, all these links would take you to my eBay page. Whilst on Hanko here, you can actually add it to the basket, so it's actually got a shop built in. As I said, there will be different fees for this, so I'm not the one to talk to. So I don't know, dependent on which shop you're using. So the last one, Patreon. So as I said, this one is really good if you're doing monthly builds or you're building things every whatever time period, or you say, okay, you can pay me I don't know, $1 or something, and and I'll produce big works of art that will take me months and months to work on. So yeah, it's kind of backing people rather than getting a lot out of it. Like I try to make mine as profitable, like as good as I can for my Patreons. But at the end of the day, you have to accept that Patreon is not there to basically sell things. Patreon is there to basically give you backing. These people are interested in you and are wanting to support you. So yes, they are getting something cool out of it, and as I say, I try to make mine as good as possible, but You're not going to get people jumping on this site and searching for 3D printed Gunpla. That's not how this works. People are going to this site already knowing who they're looking for. So, yeah, that is the sites. Now, there's a couple of things to add to this. First off, pricing. Pricing is difficult. So, pricing for Patreon, pricing for your 3D models in general, can all be difficult. It depends on what you're doing, and that's the problem. It's like you could be doing a whole host of things. Now, I will try to explain my pricing just so you understand it, but bear in mind I probably got this wrong. So, most of my files that are paid are being made for Patreon in some form. Patreon are getting the files, and for that reason, I have to limit the cost of my files to be above that what the Patreons are paying, because they're backing me, they're supporting me. This is what I mean by wanting to give them a good deal. So I'm kind of limited in that. So some files probably are priced higher than they really should be, but it's because of that. Now, if it's a small conversion, it might be like £5. If it's more complicated, it might be £10, 15, depending on how many parts it is. A ship I try to make more expensive, like £15, depending on what the ship is. Mobile armors, mobile suits, again, depending on the complexity of them, the more expensive they are. So that's something you have to work out in your head, is how are you going to price this and try to keep it consistent. As I said, I probably got mine wrong, and I'm probably not that consistent. So let's just take Anko here, because their prices seem fairly reasonable for conversions. So these are the files. So yeah, £2 for weapon, £5 for a head. So this is detail parts, £4. So that all seems quite reasonable in price, and yeah, they make sense. They're, for the amount of time and effort to make whatever they're making, and the amount of files that you're getting, that's kind of you can see that there's obviously a scheme here on what they're doing. The next thing I want to bring up is advertising. So it is a difficult thing to advertise. I personally have issues advertising, personal ones, because I don't like advertisements. I will hit the mute button, or I'll use ad block on YouTube. So I really dislike advertisements trying to sell me Raid, Shadow, VPN sort of thing. I'm not interested. So you have to still get your name out there. You still have to get people to realize you exist. So there is many pages on Facebook that will let you do this. I'm not going to name them all. You'll have to unfortunately find them yourself. But I will promote the 3D printed Gunpla page. Now, full disclaimer, I'm a moderator here. I was basically promoting this before I was a moderator, and I basically got made a moderator, I suspect, because I was answering a lot of questions and trying my best to help people out, and also I made the repository. So, yeah, this is a good place to post your work in progress. So I'm just going to go and show one work in progress. So, you might go, this doesn't look like a huge amount. It's just a couple of bits of plastic that move back and forth, and there's a bolt in there. So what's this all about? Well, we scroll down to what the guy's actually working on. It's this. So what they're working on is, by the looks of it, these doors, and they're test printing them out and showing what they're doing. So this is good. They're doing a work in progress. They're saying, hey, look at the cool files I'm working on, and this is me messing around and printing out all the bits. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I would recommend doing on the 3D printed Gunpla site or Facebook page, is showing off what you're doing. Let people see your work in progress, see what you're doing, what you're working on, get people interested that way, because yeah, that way people actually know what you're doing. They can see your work. They see you as a person, because that's important. You're not just a number. You're a person. So that that's what I would recommend to do. I'd also recommend to get your own Facebook page. So you can see here, I've got my own Facebook profile for K-scale models, and this is where I will post weekly updates. I'm going to be doing one after I shoot this video because I have kind of missed, like you'll see here, there's a gap in the weekly updates because I've just not had a lot of progress in what I'm doing. So yeah, this is important in my books because if you are trying to like promote yourself as a business, you don't want people to go onto your personal account and say, hey, I like your stuff, can you do this? I would much rather have that go through my business account because I will lose it if I don't. I get loads of cat pictures sent by my mum, my brother, my sister sends me all their dog pictures. I get a lot of bits and bobs posted on my messenger from friends and family. I'm not really able to keep track of someone that sent me a message 3 months ago saying, hey, that thing that I asked you to make, could you make me another one? I was like, okay, which person is this? Who are you? So preferably make a Facebook page for your company. Also, I would recommend to make your personal Facebook private. This way people don't find out that you like, I don't know, pineapple pizza or pineapple and ham pizza, because yeah, people might get triggered by that. So keep your personal life personal, business business. So yeah, it's like my brother started university when Facebook was a thing. I started before. So he got a lecture early on basically saying, hey, this is what all your previous like your previous year was doing. See all the wild parties they were at? Yeah. I don't want to see that on your Facebook profile next year when I'm doing this exact same lecture, because if I was a business and I was trying to hire you, that doesn't look good. So yeah, people who are wanting to like see you as a business, as someone reliable, don't want to see you passed out drunk on the bar top. They want to see a sensible person, and your like Facebook page is a sort of looking to you. So yeah, don't try to keep the two separate. That's my advice regarding this. Another piece of advice is something that I need to go and practice more than I preach. So you can see on some of these models that I've uploaded that there isn't actually a picture of the model, there's a picture of a CG asset, such as this. Now, I've gone and I've actually made this and I've taken a picture of it, but yeah, I've not uploaded it to the site yet. But why is that important? Well, it comes back to making sure the model is printable, that you can actually print the model from the files provided. So yeah, if you see this, what guarantee do you have that this is actually like will print? Well, I can go get you the pictures if you really want, but that's the point. That CG image, yeah, that's not really going to sell the product. Likewise with this is more like mix up with what pictures should be shown and which one shouldn't. So you can see here there is the actual pictures of my my model, but the first ones are of the 3D asset. So this is not good. Where possible, have like what I recommend is to at least have a picture of the model, like the actual model built. I'd also try to recommend, where possible, take pictures of the individual parts. Now, this is something I need to do. This gives people an idea of what's in the box, what's the runners are essentially, because think about it, when you're wanting to see what a new kit is like, what do? Well, for me personally, what I did when I first got into Gunpla is I went and searched YouTube. And I would search YouTube for Prime 92, Vegeta, who else? McConaman, all that, just to see what's in the box, what sort of cool customized models people were making, and yeah, see what the kit was like. So you're not going to have that if you're selling 3D printed models. You might be lucky and someone picks up your model, like for instance, I might pick your model up and show it off on my site, but that's a very low number of people that will be doing that, and a low number of people that will be searching for that. So you have to provide the person all that information from the get-go. You have to take pictures of all the sprues, etc., or all the parts, and show them a completed model so they know that yeah, this thing goes together. Um, I remember I was getting, oh, which one was it? Yeah, the Doctor's tank. I was getting this professionally done. It was an experiment to see if this was something I would like to do. And to be honest, I've got an absolutely fantastic model from the guy that I got it from. It was, I'm just trying to remember, yeah, GL Gunpla UK. So if you're wanting custom Gunpla and you're in the UK, yeah, this guy is recommended. But yeah, so to give him an idea, of what he was actually like getting in the box, I sent him all the instructions and said, hey, this is the model I'm wanting built. What's the price? So he was able to go away and say, okay, based on what I can see here, the sizes you've given, this is what my price would be. So because he's doing this professionally, he needs to kind of know what's in the box. So I had done a basic mock-up of the tank so he knew what he was getting, but I wanted it much more professionally done than what I can do. I'm not the best scale modeler, as I've said before. So yeah, so that's my kind of recommendations: is have your own website, advertise on Facebook. I would say even go on Reddit or Instagram or TikTok or something. Just put your name out to other sites that people who are interested in Gunpla will be looking at. Also, make sure that when you're doing Facebook, you've got your own business profile that's separate from your personal one, and you keep the two separate wherever you can. You lock your personal one so that people don't see you passed out in the side of a bar, sort of thing. And take pictures of your models, like assembled, the breakdown of parts, sort of thing. Yeah. Show off what the model is, because this is the thing. People are wanting to this is the advertisement. You can go do all the advertisement through Facebook if you want. I'm not going to get into that here. That's kind of been all over the place when I've been doing it. So I hope you found this interesting, and I hope you've learned something from it. If you have, please like, subscribe, all the usual stuff down below. And for now, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.